The power beyond wealth. Semen retention is a concept that has been discussed for thousands of years in spiritual traditions, ancient philosophies, and even modern self-development circles. It is often misunderstood as merely the act of abstaining from physical release. But in reality, semen retention is far deeper. It is about the preservation, transformation, and redirection of life energy. The very essence that fuels creativity, strength, willpower, and charisma. When practiced with awareness and discipline, semen retention becomes more than just a practice of control. It becomes a source of power beyond wealth. Money, status, and material possessions can bring comfort, but the internal energy cultivated through retention builds a type of wealth that no currency can buy. It builds inner strength, clarity, confidence, and an aura that attracts success naturally. To understand semen retention fully, one must first grasp the immense biological and spiritual power contained in semen. Semen is not just a fluid, it is life force. It contains vital nutrients, minerals, and genetic material capable of creating human life. Each release expends a massive amount of energy, far greater than what most people realize. Ancient texts from Taoism, Hinduism, and Buddhism speak of semen as a sacred elixir of life, a form of oyas or spiritual energy that nourishes the body and mind. In modern science, we know semen is composed of proteins, enzymes, vitamins, and minerals. But what science often overlooks is the energetic value of retention. When you retain, you conserve not just physical nutrients, but also subtle energy that fuels mental focus, confidence, and magnetism. Now, why is semen retention referred to as a power beyond wealth? Because unlike money, which can be lost, stolen, or spent, the energy cultivated through semen retention becomes part of your very being. It transforms you at the core. Retention sharpens your mind, strengthens your will, and awakens your spiritual awareness. This leads to increased productivity, greater discipline, and a heightened ability to manifest goals. These qualities often lead to financial success as a byproduct, but the true power is much deeper than material wealth. Imagine two men of equal talent and intelligence. One constantly dissipates his energy through indulgence, and the other practices semen retention with discipline. Over time, the difference between them becomes vast. The one who retains develops a magnetic presence, a sharper mind, and a powerful drive. He begins to rise naturally in life, while the other remains stuck in cycles of fatigue, distraction, and mediocrity. This is the hidden advantage that many great men of history quietly practiced. Thinkers, warriors, saints, and leaders often understood the value of sexual energy and its transformation. Semen retention strengthens self-control. In a world full of instant gratification, discipline is the true currency of success. Most people are slaves to their urges, controlled by fleeting desires that drain their time, energy, and focus. But a man who can master his own sexual energy is a man who can master anything. The same discipline that keeps him from wasting energy on indulgence allows him to channel that energy into his work, his vision, and his growth. This is why retention often leads to the rise of confidence and charisma. Women sense it on a subconscious level. When you retain, your testosterone levels stabilize. Your voice becomes deeper, your posture improves, and your eyes carry more intensity. There is a radiance, often called the retention glow, that others cannot ignore. You no longer chase validation because you carry your value within. This energy makes you more attractive, not just sexually, but socially and professionally. People respect those who radiate strength, and semen retention creates exactly that. The benefits of semen retention also extend to mental clarity. Many men report that after weeks or months of retention, their mind feels sharper, their memory improves, and their focus becomes laser-like. This is not surprising when you consider that the body is no longer in recovery mode from constant depletion. Instead, it is using its resources to repair, build, and strengthen. Clarity of mind leads to better decisions, and better decisions create better outcomes in life. This is where the power beyond wealth becomes clear. Money can buy temporary pleasures, but clarity and wisdom bring lasting fulfillment. Another hidden power of retention is spiritual awareness. In nearly every ancient tradition, sexual energy is seen as the most potent energy within the human body. Yogis, Taoists, and mystics all taught that by redirecting this energy upward, it awakens higher states of consciousness. Instead of being lost through release, the energy fuels the brain and nervous system, heightening intuition, creativity, and spiritual insight. This is why so many spiritual masters practiced celibacy or sexual discipline. It was never about repression, but about transformation. The man who retains and redirects his energy begins to feel more connected to himself, to others, and to life itself. His meditation deepens, his creativity expands, and he experiences inner peace that wealth alone cannot provide. Yet, The power of semen retention is not only spiritual, it has practical effects that shape success in everyday life. Retention improves vitality and physical strength. When energy is conserved, the body feels more energized, workouts become more powerful, and recovery is faster. Athletes, martial artists, and fighters throughout history have sworn by this practice before important competitions. It is as if the body, charged with retained energy, performs at its peak potential. On the journey of retention, one also experiences emotional stability. Without constant release, dopamine sensitivity begins to reset. The brain no longer craves cheap stimulation. Instead, it finds joy in simple, meaningful experiences. This leads to greater patience, reduced anxiety, and stronger willpower. Life no longer feels like a roller coaster of highs and lows. Instead, it feels grounded, stable, and purposeful. This emotional balance is a true form of wealth, because peace of mind cannot be bought. But like any powerful practice, semen retention is not without challenges. The initial stages are often the hardest, as the mind and body are conditioned to seek release through years of habit. Urges may feel overwhelming, dreams may be intense, and frustration may arise. But these are signs of energy building up within. If one stays disciplined, these energies transform, becoming the very fuel that drives growth. Over time, the practice becomes easier, and the benefits become undeniable. Discipline turns into empowerment. One of the greatest misconceptions about semen retention is that it is about suppression. Suppression leads to frustration, but transformation leads to liberation. Retention is not about denying desire. It is about mastering it. It is about understanding that sexual energy is not meant to be wasted constantly, but to be harnessed. When channeled into creative or productive outlets, this energy becomes a superpower. Many men on retention report bursts of creativity, new ideas, business visions, artistic inspiration, or innovations they never had before. This is because the same energy that creates life also creates art, music, inventions, and solutions. This creative spark is priceless and is one of the clearest examples of power beyond wealth. A man with vision and creativity becomes unstoppable because he is not dependent on the external world to inspire him. He carries his own fire within. Now, let us compare wealth and semen retention once more. Wealth is external. It is a tool, a resource, but it does not guarantee happiness or purpose. Many wealthy individuals still feel empty, lost, or restless because they lack inner mastery. Semen retention, however, cultivates internal wealth. It builds qualities that money cannot buy: confidence, focus, resilience, peace, and spiritual connection. Ironically, these very qualities often attract external wealth because they make a man more capable, more magnetic, and more trustworthy. True wealth, therefore, begins inside. Retention teaches this lesson in the most direct way. It strips away illusions and shows that the greatest treasure lies within your own control. So how does one begin to practice semen retention effectively? The first step is awareness. You must understand why you are practicing. Without a strong purpose, it is easy to fall back into old patterns. Whether your reason is spiritual growth, self-discipline, health, or success, clarity of intention is key. The second step is building discipline. This may involve meditation, physical exercise, cold showers, or creative hobbies to channel the energy. Retention is not passive, it is active redirection. The third step is patience. True transformation does not happen overnight. It requires weeks, months, even years of consistent practice. But the rewards are undeniable. The man who retains begins to feel like a king in his own right, sovereign over himself, radiating strength and stability. This is why retention is power beyond wealth. Because in the end, wealth without self-mastery can be lost, but mastery over your own energy can never be taken away. It is an eternal wealth, one that grows the more you practice. Semen retention is not just about controlling urges, it is about rewriting your destiny. It is about stepping out of mediocrity and into greatness. It is about reclaiming the power that has been within you all along, hidden in plain sight. While the world chases external pleasures, the man who retains discovers the true treasure within. And once he unlocks it, he realizes that the greatest wealth is not found in gold, but in energy, discipline, and inner mastery. This is the power beyond wealth, the power of semen retention. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to drop your location in the comments. I'd love to know where you are watching from. And if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel, where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description.